Most addictions, like alcohol or drug abuse, are thankfully frowned upon. And fortunately, there are many ways to seek help and treatment. However, over the last 25 years or so, there has been an addiction that has grown exponentially, plaguing millions of Americans. And even though this addiction will kill one's leadership, influence, relationships, and even career, as a society, we have become enablers. We actually encourage and reward it. So what's this socially acceptable addiction? Working too much. Now, before you think I'm exaggerating, I want you to listen to this. As many of you know, working 50, 60, even 70 hours a week, it's become the norm for many organizations and people. But the problem is that when you work too much, it leads to burnout. Gallup did a recent study, and they found that 23% of employees reported feeling burned out very often or always. Another 44% reported feeling burned out sometimes. That means 2/3 of full-time workers experience burnout. Now, here are some of the dangers of burnout. First off, you are 63% more likely to take sick days, meaning you're not at work as often and you're not getting done what you need to get done. You are 2.6 times more likely to be actively seeking another job. You're blaming your job for burnout. Instead of taking responsibility for yourself, it means you're bouncing around from different job to different job. You don't have a steady income, which affects your livelihood and your family. And you are 13% more likely to have a lower confidence in your performance, which affects your self-esteem and your ability to work with excellence and work at a high level. Now, what's the antidote to burnout and working too much? It's taking time off. But here's the problem. Project Time Off, they surveyed over 7,000 Americans. And here's what they found. 54% of employees ended 2016 with unused vacation days, which means that Americans sacrificed 662 million vacation days. So in honor of Labor Day, I want to encourage you to take some time off. And I want to share with you two benefits for doing so. The first benefit, it increases productivity. That's right. You see, it's a myth that thinking that if you work longer hours in a week, you actually get more done. Studies have shown that when you hit the 50-hour work week, that your productivity actually starts to decline. When you hit 55 hours, your productivity falls off a cliff. In fact, they have found that on average, people who work 70 hours a week get just as much done as those who work 55 hours a week. That's 15-hour difference. That's 2 hours a day. Could you imagine what you could do having 2 extra hours a day that you didn't spend working? And here's what's crazy. They've also found that people who don't take time off, they are 78 to 84% less likely to receive a raise or get a bonus. So if you want to increase your productivity, if you want to have a greater chance of getting promoted, then you need to take time off. Now, the second benefit is it increases your energy and your mood. You see, our bodies and our brains, they're like a battery. They need to be recharged. We're not like the Energizer Bunny that can keep going. We need to take time off. But you see, taking time off is not just about rest or getting sleep, even though that's important. It's about finding hobbies and activities that recharge your batteries and replenish your energy. So here's today's game plan. I want you to think about what activities you can do daily, weekly, monthly, and even yearly to recharge your batteries. So in the evenings after work, maybe you could read. Go on a date night with your spouse or significant other. Maybe even just go for a walk. What can you do on the weekends? Go for a bike ride. Have a family day with the kids. What about monthly or yearly? Maybe plan a trip to the zoo or have a weekend getaway. And I want to encourage everyone, take at least 1 or 2 week-long vacations a year. They don't have to be expensive, but it'll be beneficial for you. I promise. All right, so I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on working too much? Am I exaggerating the dangers, or is this a real problem in our society? Let me know what you think in our comment section. Finally, let me leave you with our treatable lesson. It's by New York bestseller Rick Warren. He says this: divert daily, withdraw weekly, abandon